What's going on? It's Jason. Yeah. We're live in full effect, baby. And I want to make sure that I'm dialed this time. I think I accidentally messed up my last one. So let's just check it out. Let's just check it out and see if we're live. We'll dial it in. Let's see here. We're going again. We're trying to get this thing figured out. Go to my channel. Right here. There we go. Welcome. Should be good. Alright. Hopefully I sound good. Hopefully my audio is on par. It wasn't a minute ago. I think I jacked everything up, but I'm hoping we're dialed in now. Yeah. Let's see. How is that sounding? Let me just give it an audio test. It's hard to say. I can't really watch myself, so I mean I could try to tap in and listen, but we'll just shoot for the best, baby. Hopefully we're dialed. All right. Well, welcome to Sunday. So I want to share a little bit about my weekend with you guys, and then on top of that, we're going to go ahead every Sunday. What I like to do is dive into YouTube analytics and get into the back end of my YouTube and just see how the channel's performing and compare that to the previous week. So each week I go in, get the numbers, and then I'll compare it to the previous week and see, whether the channel is doing anything or not doing anything. There's been some weeks where the channels just went, pew. Then there's been some weeks that the channel's been on an uptick. So yeah, just want to make sure that, we get it all, we hit it from all angles, and I'm going to be fully transparent and share everything with you guys exactly how I'm seeing it, because I have, my typical setup. I got my MacBook here, I'm switching, so you're able to see exactly how I'm seeing it. And it'll be a lot of fun, we'll dive in. Now, I don't do anything with the metrics or the data. Like, unfortunately, I just like looking at it because I kind of geek out on that kind of stuff. And I think it's fun, but I don't really like analyze it, break it down, see how I could be, creating content to the audience that is tuning into my stuff. Like, I could probably be doing a better job with those numbers and to dial in, to grow my channel. But I'm having fun with this stuff. Right now I'm live. I'm having fun being live and connecting and, sharing time with you guys, chopping it up about the weekend and, what do you guys have, coming up this next week and stuff like that. And then I have fun creating content and putting it on here. I'm not, fully obsessed with the numbers. I mean, I do get motivated when there is growth to my channel. Like, a lot of that stuff does motivate me. And, and I do have a goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which is a goal which I'm excited to challenge myself to grow the channel there. And I'm doing it all organically. Like, I don't, this isn't, I don't have a niche other than it's just me and my life, and I'm sharing that with you guys. And yeah, try to do it fun and organically. So if that makes any kind of sense. So but it's roughly 7:30 Arizona time. I think we're mountain time. I think that's where we're at on the spectrum. One good thing about living here in Arizona is we don't have to change our clocks, like we did when we were in Alaska, daylight savings time. We didn't participate in that, which is kind of nice. You don't have to worry about the whole daylight saving thing. But all right, how's everybody's weekend? My weekend was fun. I have to I have to tell you guys, since you're probably reading the title of this live, like, um, there's been some changes, and then there's been some new occurrences that have awoken my, awoken me to some pet peeves of my wife. She does not like toilet bowl cleaners or any kind of toilet bowl stuff that turns your toilet water blue, like the cleaners that you put in the back of the toilets. Like, she hates that stuff, and I really found out this weekend how bad that she hates that stuff. So she really let me know that she hates that stuff, and with a capital, yeah. I made the mistake of using those things in both our toilets. And when she got home from thrifting Saturday, she's like, "What'd you do to the toilets? Why are their toilet water blue?" And I was like, "Well, I put one of those cleaner tab things in the back of the toilet." She was not happy. And I didn't see the big deal. Like, to me, one thing, me and my wife, we prioritize keeping our house relatively as clean as we possibly can, with 2 kids and us having full-time jobs and trying to maintain the house. There's just a lot. But we do, prioritize keeping the house clean. We keep our floors clean. We keep the kitchen, the bathrooms, all that stuff. We stay on top of the laundry. Like, we work well together and prioritize that. Both of us, I think, have a good sense of ownership when it comes to wanting to maintain our house. Now, when you compare me and my wife, there are different standards of what that clean looks like. Like, she's probably a little bit more in depth on certain things, and same thing with me. Like, I have a certain way I like the beds made, and she like doesn't make them that way, and like she has a certain way to mop the floors, and I don't do it that way necessarily. So there's some differences. So, at times we may bump heads when it comes to that, but there is now, do not use any toilet bowl thing in our toilets. Like, that's a no-no. And she's like, "Do you know how dangerous those things are? Like, legitimately, they're bad for the environment. They're bad for your toilet." Like, I didn't think anything of it. Like, I'm thinking, like, these things are sold in the stores. Like, what is the big deal? That's why they're made. Like, why would they be selling things that are going to be harmful for you and your toilets? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But apparently, she's done the research on this kind of stuff where I don't do that kind of research. She's like, they're bad for the environment. They're bad for your toilet parts. Not only to say that, the chemicals could splash up, and, our kids are little. They could be playing around, and not saying our kids are playing in the toilets, but, if there's chemicals in there, we don't want them getting into that. So it's best that we don't use those things. So that was one of the things that I faced this Saturday. And it was, yeah, we kind of bumped heads there for a minute. And then I think some of that kind of bled into today, because there was another thing that we discussed and talked about, which we have talked about in the past, but I kind of let that go. And, here lately I've been working on a creative video to tell the story about me being a dad. And I'm excited about it, and I was just motivated to kind of dial this story in. And I've been filming and capturing things, and getting ready to like edit the story together. And then today my wife's like, I don't feel comfortable with us putting our kids on the internet, especially YouTube and social media, anymore. And I'm like, now you tell me. Here I am, been putting this story together, and then she's like, it's just not, the internet's a dangerous place. And I kind of am not, I don't have social media, and I don't have things to like, I'm not exposed to the things that she is finding out about how they're using YouTube and all these things to kind of, hurt kids and stuff like that. So I'm not aware of this stuff. Me, I'm kind of naive. Like, who's watching my content and going to be trying to harm me or my family? Like, I'm just not thinking that way. And I don't want to like think that way either, but at the same time, we got to protect ourselves and our family. And so my wife was very passionate about explaining to me how she doesn't feel comfortable with me putting the kids in our videos. And it's like, dang, I just filmed all this stuff, and it was, now I have to find another creative way to tell that story without having my kids in it, which is fine. You know, I want to respect the boundaries that my wife and I've talked about, and, you know, honor her when it comes to that. I'm a little frustrated about it, and I got a little upset about it, but it's not anything worth, you know, fighting about, honestly, because it's for the well-being of our kids, and that comes more important than anything else. So with that being said, I am not going to be putting my kids in my YouTube videos anymore, and if I do, I'm blurring out their faces so you can't see them and stuff like that. So, but for the most part, I'm going to do my best not to have them in my videos. If I want to put my silly mug on the internet and on YouTube, that's one thing, but my wife and the kids don't want to be, you know, they shouldn't be a part of it, and they should have the say whether or not they are part of it. So I'm going to be respecting those wishes, and that's where we're at with that. So yes, that's to say I have this video that I'm working on, you know, my next video that I'm going to be posting. It's about being a dad and my story on being a dad, but now I have to like revisit another creative way to tell that story without showing pictures of my kids and stuff like that. So, which would be a fun challenge, you know, to try to come up with a creative way to do that. So, more to come on that. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. How's everything going? How's everything sounding? Is it sounding okay? All right, we're about to dive into some numbers. After we go ahead and dive into my YouTube numbers and go over that, what I like to also do is, you know, share some videos that are doing really well, just kind of highlight those videos, which is a lot of fun. But then there's a creator that I'm super blown away by, that I want to share his content with you guys, because I just find him super inspiring and motivating. And like, I'm just, my friend Joseph, he's a gentleman that told me, he's like, let's race to 1,000 subscribers. He's way ahead of me now. He's got almost 1,000 subscribers. And we were both kind of at the same place when we started it. And, but he did a video about his analytics and data, and how sharing and liking and doing all that helps the videos, you know, the analytics, it helps the growth of the channel and stuff like that. So yeah. And but he also, we're on a Discord channel together, and he mentioned this creator who I found, and he mentioned his name. I was like, I don't even know who that is. And so I went to go check him out, and I'm just like, dang, I am blown away by this dude's content, and just classic storytelling, and just the way he just captures your attention and then tells the story is just, it's, you know, heavy Casey Neistat vibes, but on the same beat, he's his own unique personality, and the way he tells the story is just super fun. So I'm going to share his channel with you guys because I think it's awesome. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into some of these numbers. All right, here we go. Yeah. All right. And what we're going to do, we're going to dive into some YouTube analytics. We're going to go into the back end of my YouTube channel. And so what I'm going to do is minimize this, minimize that, and then we'll go ahead and here we go. So I'll hop over to here and then we'll go picture in picture. I'll blow this bad boy up and then we will go into YouTube Studio and then we'll go into analytics. Yeah. And we'll dive into the numbers. Okay, here's the top 3 for me in the last 28 days. This is what the channel's been doing. I've gotten 11.8K views, 71.8 watch hours, and then 23 new subscribers. So that's how the channel's been performing in the last month, which is awesome. I like to compare it to this week to last week, so I go into here and I customize it, and I do it basically from a week ago to today, and this is where we're at for this week. How the channel's been performing this week. I've gotten 4.6K views, 25 watch hours, and 2 new subscribers. Yeah. Which is awesome. This is awesome. I got 2 new subscribers. I think that's super awesome. And then I will go ahead and hop over into advanced mode here. So hopping into advanced mode. And then I like to compare to, which is that little tab up there, and then period over period. So now you're seeing everything in blue is this week, everything in purple was the previous week. So as you can see with views, I've gotten 45, almost 4,600 views this week. Compared to the previous week, I got 2,700. So yeah, little uptick in views this week, which is fun. Now watch time, 25 this week, which is the blue, and then the previous week I've gotten 18, which is cool. So again, uptick in the watch hours too. And then subscribers, what are we looking at? We got 2 new subscribers this week and then 2 the previous week. So in the last 2 weeks, I've gotten 4 new subscribers. That's so freaking awesome. That's so awesome. And then this is like all the top content for me, as far as what's popping off on the channel. So let's get out of here. Let's get out of comparison view. And then we'll go into geography. So right now, this is what's the top spots in this period. So we got United States, Canada, Germany, United Kingdom, India, and Australia are my top places people are viewing my content, which is super awesome. United States on top. Viewer age, we've got all over the kind of spectrum here, 25 to 45 to 54, no, 65 and plus. Oh man. That's fun to see that. And then we got 13 to 17-year-olds. So cool. That's all kinds of, it varies in the age demographic. Viewer gender, very large male population of guys watching the content versus female. And then subscription source, content type. So shorts are what are popular right now with my channel. So shorts are doing really well. We got 4,100 views in shorts versus 324 in videos this week. So yeah, definitely shorts are popping off versus the videos. And then device type, always mobile phone, killing it. So the mobile phone is where it's at. And that's how people are watching stuff these days, is on their mobile devices. And then who took the top spot as far as like, is it an Apple product or Android? All right, so let's take a look. Operating system, Android. That's a pretty close, about 100 views difference. So Android versus Apple. Looks like Android's on top. And it varies sometimes. Apple took the top spot there for a little bit, but now it's That was Android time. So, all right, that's where we're at with the channel this week, which is super fun. And just to recap, I got 4.6 views, 25 watch hours, and 2 new subscribers. So, yay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate you. And then these are the top videos that are doing well during this time period. So 2,100 views on this one video, 1,500 on this other. You know, those are shorts. So the top 4 spots are shorts, and then mouse versus trackpad videos got 185 views. Yeah, so that's fun. And that's the top spot. So that's where we're at. I don't have any other analytics to share with you guys. That's what I find super fascinating, interesting. If there's something specific that you are interested in knowing, then, you know, feel free to let me know and we'll dive into that stuff. I don't have a problem sharing whatever you guys want to see. I don't have a problem sharing it with you guys. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where the channel, that's what's been popping off this week on the old Jason to Use YouTube channel. All right. Now let's get into that creator that I want to share with you guys, and we'll hop into his videos here. Let me just pop open. Let me see YouTube. All right. We'll go ahead and here we go. All right, I'm gonna hop back over to here. All right, so here is the creator that, you know, I find super fascinating and inspiring. His name is Ali Gallup. I just think he is an amazing creator. Just dude is phenomenal, and I just love the way he tells the story. And I just want to share one of his videos with you. We'll just watch this one. We'll go ahead and
5 years of my life.
Oh, that's probably really loud.
I thought the marathon was about running.
I'll just blow this up.
When I was a kid, it was just this sports event that was on TV. You know, I just thought it was this thing for people that like running a really long way.
This is so cool. I can turn this off.
Are you proud? Are you feeling proud? I'm really proud of her.
But that all changed 5 years ago, in 2018, when, it sounds stupid, but quite simply, I went for a walk. I lived like 10 minutes from Tower Bridge. And I remember a few streets away, I could kind of hear this sound. As you come around the corner to this piece of road that I've seen thousands of times, straight away you just realise exactly what this marathon's all about. The moment you get to the side of that road, you see that every single one of these 58,000 runners is running for something or someone else. Maybe someone else that's fighting a battle. Maybe it's a battle that they've been fighting themselves. Or a lot of the time in remembrance of someone that lost that battle. Then you realise that the whole way along the whole of the 26 miles, there's a crew for every single one of those people. And that crew, their friends, their family, they know exactly why that person's running. They know why it's important, they know why it's special. So after hours of waiting, they see that person coming up this road from however far away.
All right. Isn't that freaking awesome. Like, his content is just so dang good. It's so awesome. Yeah, I'm motivated by his stuff now, and just, man, just the way he tells the story, just super cool. So yeah, that's Ali Gallup. Again, my buddy Joseph kind of. Oh, let me turn that up. Yeah, so wanted to share that with you guys. Give you guys something to research. Go watch his stuff. He's got a few videos out there, and he's been doing YouTube now for a couple years, and he's got a lot of great content, you know. So, all right. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I don't think I have anything else. I tried to do this earlier, but I jacked up the audio. Everything was kind of wanted to do a cleaner version for you guys, so you're not wondering what the heck that you just watched. So this is where we're at. I got a video to work on. I got a creative journey process to try to tell a story without stuff I wanted to use before, so I got to dive into that, and that's where we're at right now. So yeah, if we don't have anything else, that's a wrap. I want to figure out, can we do let's see here, is there a way to look at, I thought there was, what is that? No. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. All right. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just trying to figure some things out, you know. Try to dial this in. So, you know. All right, guys. Well, without that, you know, there's not anything else. I will go ahead and catch you guys on the next one.